As we are once again alive upon the internet. And I just realized something there. That is that I want to work on the guide with the thing of the stuffs, which is the weapon guide. For that, I need to be on account 1. So loaded up on account 3 there, thinking of like, you know what, we'll go catch them up on the scouts. But now, first let's work on this. Because if I don't do it at the start, I'm not going to do it. I know myself. Well enough to know that if we go do start with the scouts, I'm going to... So let's load back actually up into main account switch. It's fine. Because yeah, let's go and work on the weapons guide. Because we've put in all the ARs, not sorted or anything, but just all of the information is in there. We've done all the SMGs. Let's do all the LMGs today at least. Or maybe start on the rifles or something. Just to keep this train chugging along. It'll basically get done eventually. It's one of those things of just keep chipping away at it and it'll end at some point. But yeah, if we don't chip away at it, then it won't. I realized there as well, I should have actually gone to a different character. This character is really full on their inventory. So actually, yeah, just instantly gonna swap characters. I got to character 4, who has the most inventory. Because on the LMGs, we worked on some of the variants ones and stuff. We can already start moving these nodes. Because these all gonna go over there. And for this one. Because here we're gonna put reload and the thingy. Let's just turn off the directives for now. So actually, what is the target? It's AR in the bounty farming zone. Might actually farm up a few bounties today, maybe later on. We'll come back to main account and do a little bit of that. Because ARs is a pretty good one anyway. Skill mods on DUA I see. Yesterday was even gear mods, which legendary and gear mods. Always a good combo. Yeah. Let's turn those directives off just so I don't have the out of ammo the whole time in the middle of my thing. Yeah, let's go and grab one of each LMG. Especially the ones we haven't done. Actually, yeah, we should do the ones that aren't variant based, basically. So that leaves yeah, so Negav, M60 Classic, L86 is already in here, GR9, both of the MGs should. Actually, let's mod that one up as well. Oh, was that different? I think I grabbed the Carnage then, likely. MG5. And then Stoner, right? This is the E4, Mark 160. Yeah, it's a Stoner. And that Carnage can go back. Yes. Okay, so this is the ones we need to add into here, and then let's already mod everything up. Let's also do it while we have... Actually, I have Gunner already. And it's nice and steamy here today. I forgot to close my curtains as I went to do some work stuff, and the whole day the sun beat into the room, so still a little steamy. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, mod all the weapons, so they're already... Wait, it's still the Carnage, which... Did I put back the wrong type? Oh, god damn it. Did I put something else back? No. Am I awake? I have 2 Carnages in here, that's why. Oh, one is hers. Okay, now I get it. Like, how did we end up here? So yeah, let's mod these up just so they look correct. Otherwise, I'm gonna be bothered by that. Of course. Because if the pouch is empty, looks off. I'll take the time to actually put that in. So maybe I'll turn my fan on and up a little bit. Because I am sweating. I'm being a sweaty boy. So there's all the LMGs. Let me also actually have a peek over here as I'm kind of in my own world. And Hater Manly. And Hater Eris as well. Yeah, I've been suffering. It's I don't mind it either. Also, for myself as well, this guide will help, especially later on. I'm going to add in underneath all of the weapons what mod slots each of them has, which is something that I quite often have to go back to the stash and go like, oh yeah, which one did have a long rail and which one didn't and stuff. For now, it already has like for the long rail, the text here. But also, yeah, we're going to actually eventually flesh this out even more so. So yeah, first thing we need is actually this. So I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna put one up here, and then actually I'm gonna edit this to be like this. Because we're gonna have all of these are gonna be 1 variant versions. So we just need this. That was too many, but deleting is easy. Yeah, let's start here. So name first. Okay. Not being full screen first. The snippet tool, for some reason, it used to work in full screen, but it doesn't anymore. Well, I think that's something on the Windows ends that changed. Not per se a division issue. And then yeah, so and right away we're gonna put all the on a build, yeah, correctly. I'm kind of looking forward to just getting this one done. This one kind of got out of hand, although well. I was just first gonna do it as a guide of like, this is the better version of this weapon type, right? Like, it's such a common question that I was like, let's make that, and then I can just send people over there. But now I want to actually have the everything in here, basically. So this way as well makes it clear which weapons are kind of variants of each other, which aren't, and stuff. Is that sick and 60? Is it just these 5? Huh? And LMG's pretty much a much shorter list than most of the other things, which is nice. Makes it easier to go through. I totally forgot to check how. I did answer a comment from it, but I haven't actually checked because today I had the short go up uh, for the oh yeah, I disabled autoplay, of course. I'm like, wait, why is neither of these actually playing? But that's why. Uploaded a short for Hollywood. Which I feel turned out pretty well. I even just used some reuse some footage from the other only tips on Hollywood, making it a little bit easier on myself, but like that oh, so far so good. For a short of mine at least, it's doing pretty good. Yeah, I'll catch up here as well. And hey there, Gustavo. Uh, Yumi, I'm currently not actually even playing at all yet. I'm just making some guides here. Later on we could, but also yeah. So most of this week, we'll try to be spending time in Hollywood, which you like unless you're level 40. When you join a team, like it will actually turn off the global event. So maybe try to get to level 40, especially, and then we can also help you get gear at level 40 and stuff. But seeing as most of this week we're gonna try to spend some time in Hollywood. But also, you're also better off just leveling up normally and just kind of getting to learn the game a little instead of getting basically carried. Also, at some point, I still need to do the pistol collection and the final parts of the LMG collection, basically. Because I've been trying to find all LMGs with crit chance third stats now. Because I used to go a different route, which is to have a talent that I like, and then the third stats be kind of free talentable. The thing is with that though is that used to be a good idea back before the mod changes. The mod changes now mean basically that you can always lose some crit chance in a good way. So you just take the crit chance on the third stat. There is no reason not to ever. Although Bullet King is like the only last remaining reason to maybe take rate of fire. Although even there, I wouldn't really. But you could make a case for it. GR9. There we go. Next step. Negav. What's that? Okay, chip here as well. Next step, Negev. IWI Negev. But Negev's handling is always the worst, kind of, I feel. And it's kind of as well shown a little bit in, because actually these accuracy stability bars, when you compare them within a category, so not per se if you're comparing like ARs to LMGs or something, but if you're comparing within a category, like that's those stats there versus, for instance, MG5, which we don't have yet, but those actually line up somewhat, actually. There's of course still stuff like firing pattern and stuff that aren't in that, which also kind of matter. Because the AUG, for instance, isn't just worse on its stability, it's also its firing pattern is kind of more scattershot. So because of that, it eats into it all. As well. So. And eventually as well, I'm thinking of trying to get, at least we can just copy all of these stability and accuracy ones and stuff, and maybe have some AI just, hey, spit me out a number for each of these bars, basically. How much of this, because I can measure them by hand, but if an AI can do it, then that saves me time. And then we can quantify them. Although there's more to that story, as we're kind of talking there, right? Because it can also be a little bit misleading. It's kind of like the same as some people just go like, this is the burst number, so this weapon is better, which is like, go say hello to the double barrel shotgun of that. If that's your, if that's truly the only thing you care about. That's it. The rest of it is also important. It's not that it isn't important, it's just it is one of the most important things, but it's not the only important thing. I was actually just hoping I've actually hinted this kind of guide to some others as well. And try to go like, hey, are you interested in maybe making these? And yeah. Turns out nobody was. Which is one of those, fine, I'll do it myself moments. I don't have an infantry MG5, do I? No. So let's go get that. Why don't I have that? At least I'm not in my inventory. I mean, there. I do have one, of course. I have multiple. Well, actually, there's also a downside. I graded these to 25, but now actually the other MG5 is kind of better than the infantry one. By margin that it is worth swapping them out. Which partially is also just, you know, them can somewhat agree that they kind of went with changing shit up just to change shit up, but also it worked out in the end. It's, I feel the balance we have now is better than what we used to have, but they didn't do themselves too many favors by just kind of some things feeling arbitrary. Although now consistently on any build which has pretty decently high crit chance, crit damage, the variants that are with one mod less, so the MG5 versus the infantry MG5, even like the classic M60, but also for instance SMG9, 60 QB, mind you, all of those are basically the minus or the ones that have a mod less and have compensation in their base damage actually work out better. I feel they kind of maybe didn't account for how high our crits and stuff are nowadays. It's mostly that because, you know, if the base value is kind of competing with a crit damage value, if the crit damage is already kind of high, crit chance, crit damage, then it eats into that. Yumi, again, I know I'm getting the feeling that yeah, English isn't your first language, but no, I'm working on some guides here. Then I'm gonna jump into some scouts, but also those scouts I'm gonna likely just do solo just to get them out of the way quick on 30 cats. So, it will be a while before I'm actually playing the game, and then also I'm likely gonna be solo for quite a bit. So. Oh, or is that for Gustavo? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe at the right person then at that point. I assume that was to me, but I get it. But also, if you guys, yeah, please don't use my chat to just like, there is DMing within Twitch, there is in-game chat. So we did, so what's left? Stoner. we did this one, this one, this one, this one. No, wait, this one, this one. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stoner is last. And then we need to add the other ones in. I don't know why. I don't know why my voice went into full-on question mark mode there, but stoner type. And yeah, so let's get accuracy, stability. Also, I saw somebody linking to somebody linked me to a Reddit post which had the data mined stats for the smart cover, and a kind of confirmation as well. 6 skill tier is 45, which also means that actually the overcharge numbers were in there, and that's 55. Making it so that that's one way to make that gear set super OP, the new one. Because if you have enough teammates to kind of keep you in overcharge a lot of the time, that's going to be way too big of a buff is the downside of it. Because that's like humongous numbers. I have no idea why they're putting that high of a damage thing on a on a skill. So yeah, these what we can have here then is these ones. I select them there. So we don't need these. Okay. So the same for these. So actually, how much we have? 4 of them. So an M60. That one. On RPK. Stick that one. L86. And let's look at Mark 46. And for these, we just need the reload because we have the rest. We need the other things. So let's go M60 first. These in RPK. Man, the RPK reload is just silly still. The 4 seconds when like M60 is like 3.5 or 350. So that's not a 3.5. That's actually no, it does go 100. It is 100. Yeah. What am my brain didn't want to work here. But yeah, have a second faster for M60. that seems a little out of whack, especially compared to the where's the MG5 269 and 274. Those things have like AR reloads now. And this is then basically just on just the watch alt or the watch points. The watch points applying and nothing else. It's on a build without any handling or such. Although on those, of course, we get a -10 reload speed from the mag. Because one of the benefits that the pouch has is for the +35 or the +50 is it doesn't come with a reload decrease the way that the box mags do. Yeah. So that's the AR or LMGs then. How many rifles are there? Rifles is pretty big as a category, isn't it? Maybe we do like a part of it and then as a part of me as well just wants to go play this video game. As most of today I got caught up in doing a lot of work stuff. Which also kind of worked out as I've done kind of a portion for Thursday and Friday, and especially Friday I might be able to have a long session. It will also be a day that the scent resets, and maybe we get rat. We haven't had rat in forever, to a degree that last season, I think it was, at some point we didn't have rat for a while, or we didn't have envy for a while, and it was broken basically. It had to be fixed through on the developer's end basically. So I'm hoping that's not the case here. Because envy has definitely been missing in action for a bit. Yeah, let's already start putting in some for the rifles. I'm already gonna do is make 2 versions of actually no, so I want this one. So I want 2 versions of these. One for single variant, one for multi-variant. Because otherwise I have to just delete more things. Yeah. Yeah, let's just start on the rifles. Stalmage's actually was simpler than I thought. So. Also, honestly, as we've been doing these, I'm getting faster at them, I feel at least. And hey there, Minister. Yeah, let's equip a rifle, just all the rifles go to the top. At least after the second one. Yeah, so let's start with the single type ones. '86 ACR says that this thing, not the Mark 17, Resolute, M4. Did I have a graded M4? Really? M4, LVAC, M16. Ooh, Mark 17 and CQB/SOCOM are variants. That's variants. MDR. Yeah, let's do that, and then we do all the variants. And then we leave the variants for difficult. Let's see how long it takes us to get through this. Let's start with the 1886. Oh. For a second there, I can see the handling stats, but yeah, we were on the minigun. I'm like, what's happening here? But that was happening there. That's yeah. Let's cut that out again. Without clipping slightly the text underneath it, because that looked bad. And reload time. And actually we'll fill in the names and stuff all together at the end. So name first. And ACRSS. Is actually what's left after this. Just shotguns and pistols? Oh, marksman rifles as well, yeah. Shotguns, pistols, and marksman rifles, okay. Pistols is a lot, but marksman is actually not that much. So. Neither is shotguns, actually. I think this is the last big category, rifles. ACRSS. Oh, that's artist still. Wait, I need a 60 QB then. Doesn't make sense why it's ungraded one. I don't have a 25 one actually. But actually, in the end, I didn't end up using rifles much. Turns out that it's just not worth it in comparison to most of the other weapon types. They really need a better. Second stat, basically. 17 crit damage is not workable, basically. In comparison to like 21 DTH or 21 crit chance even, because like in most other places crit damage is basically double crit chance in a stat form, except for here. Because honestly, if they had like 40 crit damage, that would already be quite the improvement, because actually on base burst and stuff, they do hold up. It's just, yeah, actually on build, they don't. So I didn't even grab a Resolute, I grabbed the Harmony. Yeah. JJ. There we go. So next up, lightweight M4. So let me catch up here for a second. I'm kind of in my own world. I need to slip, and yeah, I do. I am on PC. That was back in order of operation. Did you hear about the circus? Wasn't that? God damn it, Funky. And hey there. That's yeah. Coming in with the puns. Thanks for yeah, no worries, of course. Yeah, as you know, I enjoy spreading around the raids and kind of seeing who we can help out, and of course we're gonna take the chance to come and actually annoy you with puns for once, because and repay the favor. Mm. And let's get all these in. So it's actually when they made the Lexington that they went with the LVOC and not the Lightweight M4. I feel like Lightweight M4 is a much more well-known Division 1 weapon, more so than the LVOC. About basically the same thing anyway. It's also in the end, it's not like it has the stats of the Lightweight M4 or something. It has the stat of the Police M4. Especially, I think in Div 1, like all of those actually fall into the same type. Right? Police, Lightweight, and LVRC. So accuracy, stability. It's also just annoying that after all this time, this just as a thing didn't exist already. You would feel somebody would just, because even on the wiki and stuff, it isn't like, it doesn't actually show these bars and stuff. Unless somebody actually recently worked on it or something. I've noticed actually that the wiki has been getting some updates. The wiki, yeah, wiki. Still bad that is actually under the like that umbrella, because otherwise I might have as well if we had like a USP kind of thing, which wasn't tied to being as heavy on the advertisements and stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's put gunner on this, or gunner killer on this thing instead of fast stance. It'll look better with killer. It's also not like fast stance makes too much sense for that one. Yeah, so 44. Yeah. So how many more single ones do we have? This one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's copy this a few times because we only have one remaining. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm 16, and obviously, so resolute. Oh. We can already paste that here. Jump the gun on that one. I'll be also to be done with this guide so we can move back to the descent guide and finish that at some point. It's been forever, that thing. I think already as well I have an idea for the guide after, because it's been a thing that just has been requested a bunch of times. For me, I'm like, do we really need a guide on that? But actually talking to some other people, it's just like, yeah, maybe that would be a good guide. There's a weapon or enemy types and stuff and weak points. So we're gonna take screenshots basically of every enemy type with like the front and back, cut them out. Actually, nowadays it's also pretty easy as I can just cut them out using on Photoshop. It's pretty easy. And then yeah, highlighting all of their weak points and also just talking about each type basically. Because there's stuff like the Ragers from like the Riker's lieutenants that kind of like give a Rager's effect. A lot of people apparently like have never noticed that whenever there is one of those alive that everybody else has a bonus health or a bonus bar basically. And stuff like that. So we'll just have that be a thing. Although yeah, that's going to be quite a while, and also likely in the next season, because then we can also include the the new season, the new enemy types and stuff. Although likely by the look of things, I kind of was going through the video they put out and stuff. The rhythm per se seem to be new. They seem to be not even be the incursion ones, which don't have the backpack. They just had the backpack too. Because the enemies, the cleaners in the incursion, they don't have actually the backpack that you can blow up. Gas canister on the back. As an in the incursion, just so you can cheese them super easily, because cleaners are one of the easier factions to fight because of that. Although some are just easier than them because they even have even more weak points. Yeah, I'll get you up here as well. The new Hunter mask got data mined on Reddit. Yeah, I've already seen the data mine stuff. And yeah, it looks, I mean, some of them look pretty good. We'll have to see actually what happens when on the final, because I don't think puzzle wise, if it'll get data mined first or if it's gonna get found the normal way. I'm curious to see. Because the hunter mask hunt will start likely right away for a lot of people there. I'm not too concerned about it. I'll just wait for others to figure it out and then go do it myself. And for me as well, it's not going to be a video or anything anyways. Not kind of the content that I make. So I'll leave it to the others to like make 8 videos with way too much time for 2-minute explanation. Actually, not that I can bitch about that. I'm long-winded as well, but I'm me, so I'm excluded. I don't feel I'm long-winded just to be long-winded. It's just more. Sometimes there's a lot to say about a thing. So should actually mess around with the UIC a little bit more than I have recently. That reload speed buff to it and that base increase, even though it wasn't as big in the end. I haven't actually played much with it since, which is this entire season. So should maybe actually mess around with that thing more. Yeah, so MDR and the USC as the single type ones remaining. Yeah, maybe we just finish rifles, which means that we also do the other few. Because actually, there's only a few, right? Because it's basically Mark 17, M1A plus, well, CQB plus SOCOM. As part of this as well, it's not like, this isn't hard work, this is just tedious work. It's the kind of work you get interns for. But it turns out I'm my own intern. Unpaid intern. I'm paid in apparel stuff, right? That's this translates into like subs and memberships and stuff, and then with that I buy all the apparel. So this is the last of the solos. That's one of the things I need to do is actually go through and make a double check that I didn't miss any. Although if I've missed any, someone will call it out as well. At least, especially once I make like the video on it and stuff. Like all guides, there's going to be like some errors in it that I'll have to fix like later. But that's also the thing with guides is, unlike videos where I just, you know, it's generally not worth it for me to just make an error, like error correcting video or something. Unless it's like something big. With this, I can just edit the guide and just go like, hey, the guide's been updated. Instead. Yeah, so let's get all of these back out. This scales inventory. So, that one, this one, this one, this one. Some are hers. And that leaves, so M1A, SOCOM and CQB. SOCOM, CQB. And just the Mark 17s, right? Everything else, okay, just two of these, nice. Easy peasy. Now we just need to input the names and stuff. We haven't done that yet. Let me catch up here. So, sounds you like to put on your handguns? Well, depends if they're just as like on a red build where I'm not like maining the pistol. It's gonna be things like sledge or finisher, basically. Like sledge is kind of handy on the pistol. I can always swap to the pistol. Generally now I've just always sledge just because I'm kind of used to it, especially from back in the day when it was 30%. But still, I know like if I throw a grenade, I'm going to swap to the pistol, and like if it hits, I'm going to get sledge on top. Finisher though is of course also a really good deal. But then if you're actually doing it, using it for damage, killer. Killer is now a really good talent for, well, at least as long as it's like, you know, crit chance, crit damage based. Otherwise, of course, if it's like headhunter based, it's determined, because that's why I'm not even talking about like headhunter based one. Although if it's headhunter based one, yeah, you can go with a bunch of stuff there. Ranger doesn't make too much sense. You're usually too close range, but salvage is actually sometimes a decent one because you get your shots back pretty consistently. But if you're using it as a shooty one, or like it's the build, like the high-end one, it's gonna be the killer on TDI card then. So well, again, it depends. So if it's for like that, if it's a bulwark build, basically where you're maining the pistol, yeah, then you take the pistol. But yeah, not the TDI card, just a normal card 45. Because the TDI card, that skill tier, that's not worth 10 deduct. Like, that's like if you're using it as just an actual to kill thing. But if it's on a striker or something, yeah, either sledge or finisher with a TDI card custom. If it's on a build where it's like an extra tool, basically. Basically, on all my full red builds, it's a TDI card custom with sledge for me nowadays. And the TDI card, especially for in-group settings, to have an extra charge on the... I need to change these mags as well, actually. Actually, I need to quickly check there that I didn't have any stability mags in any of those weapons. Likely didn't, because I would notice it, I feel. I would hope. on the bar being way out of line with the rest. You can also go Orbit. Orbit is actually also a decent one just for red builds. Especially if you're like playing more solo and you don't need the second charge on the you don't need the second charge on the thing, on the pistol, on the hive. Wait, did I grab and then also grab? Oh, no, that's weird. It's a bit killer here. But grabbed an everlasting gaze apparently as well. Not what I need. So we have these three. Of these three, this one's the best, right? Oh, wait, we have two police. Yeah. So which one am I missing? I'm missing... Oh, no, I don't. No, yeah. Wait. Oh, no, there's only two Mark 17s, isn't there? I'm like thinking of like put the Mark 16 where it's also... Yeah, we only have military and police, right? Yeah. I'm confusing myself, apparently. Yeah, so... And then the police was the better one, right? Yeah. Police. These two. There's that, and then goes here. And then Yes. Yeah. Leaving just the M1A CQB and the SOCOM. It's also nice that eventually the M1A CQB and the SOCOM got fixed together. These two used to have different bases, but actually the M1A CQB was already the better weapon to begin with. So it was extra weird. That was extra worse. One thing that was it's just because they were hard to get being non-craftable. Yeah, I feel one of the reasons as well with because actually I like the LVRC much better. I feel in Division 1 having messed around with it more recently and stuff. I think I like the LVRC actually better. But yeah, the lightweight M4 is craftable, so it becomes the de facto. So yeah, when ACQB, SOCOM, M1A. And this will be the last few rifles here. Although, yeah, we still need to input all the names. So we'll take a minute to do that. Just then we're done with the rifles, leaving shotguns, pistols, and marksman thingies. And I'll likely do shotguns and marksman together and then pistols by themselves. Yeah, so let's go back to the start of rifles and just work our way down. 1886 type. ACR. Type. Classic. M1A. Lightweight 4. LVOA. C type. M16. Part of these as well, I'm just truncating the name to what we usually use for them. Because the full name is here, but then I'm just calling it like Mark 47 type. Because usually nobody calls this a Resolute, nobody calls this like the A2, M16 A2, it's just M16. 716. For instance, here as well, SIG CQB instead of the. Also, this is then just UIC. There's also nobody calls it the urban MDR, it's just MDR. Wait, where? Oh. Input happened somewhere unintended. It's the USC. USC 45. Now the Mark 40 or Mark 47, Mark 17. Two variants. Police preferred. Slight handling differences. Actually, I'm going to even make this, instead of slight, I'm going to make this even very. Because between these two, there's not much. Between these two, a little bit more between the M1As. So M01A type, 2 variants, CQB preferred, slight handling differences between them. There we go. Because also eventually, I'm going to put these in kind of in the order of recommendation, basically. I feel that has some value, just kind of, it'll be my tier listing. And then we can always flesh this out as well. So eventually I want to add like mods to here and stuff. So we know which under barrel rails and stuff each has. Let's put all these rifles back into the stash. Just so they're not on this character. I'd appear to have some just weapons from other times we had then stuff on them. Yeah, let's load it back. Normally, let's swap in the meantime. I should have actually done that while I was filling that in. Let's swap to 30 count, as that's my plan. We're gonna go and get second and third account kind of caught up, which I think both were just this week's scout basically, but let's go get them caught up and stuff. And just so they're ready for next week when we have the master. Oh well, the climax mission, and then by extension a master mission to do with them. And I think as well, once kind of this season is done, I've already said that basically, but I'm not gonna be buying Brooklyn on third account basically, and starting next season, actually after the master here, I'm likely gonna sunset third account. Just it's a bit much, first of all, and second of all, like I've done everything I wanted to do with that account. They're max expertise. They're not the. Actually, that would be the only thing. Maybe we do few descent on them still. Although actually, well, if I'm sunsetting them, I don't care enough to, because they only have like 15 or so blueprints remaining from descent. That's really the only thing left. But I might still do that as well. Just get that descent in. Oh. They're doing the classic bundle as well. Although actually, before we go and jump into the scout and stuff, let's actually, for one more time, jump into this level 30 character actually. Let's have a look at what's at level 30 available.
Safe area entered. Looking to deal?
Visible hand. Not the worst thing to have. I'm mostly more looking for second account when we get
Agent,
there.
we've just received a distress call from New York. There's been an attack
Just to see
on
what the
division,
vendors
and
have, because yeah, we'll also go get one last
Meet
time.
me on the White
Well,
House
they'll
South
still
lawn.
do that
There's a
till
helicopter prepped for us.
till
We
till
need
the
to leave
end
now.
of the thing. OD, actually, OD knee pads.
Happy to do business with you.
So what knee pads do we have here? This is better than what we have. 8.9. 9.8. So better knee pads than we had. We'll use up some of the currency if we're getting better stats out of it. It's also the only reason this character is in the clan. Oh, I have a clan cache. It's just so they can get to the clan vendor. Yeah, we'll hang on to that. Although, yeah, for this last few weeks, we can have a little bit of a better Odini. Odini! Let's add that other one to the library. Now that accuracy on shotguns is important during the game. Yeah, let's pop our clan cache as well. Because of course, these do. This is actually also a really good source for level 30 stuff. We should keep that one as well. That's going to go into the library. We'll even put that in there. Well, that's not useful, but I'll go into the library as well. I'll get a second back. That's just not useful. Well, I should have sold that. Let's go get Danny and Cassie in a sec. It's needless. More wanted this one. Yeah, let's get Snitch first before we accidentally put him on cooldown. Yeah, I'll get you. For it's just keep showing up on my feed. So oh, thank you, sir, very much there for the kind words there. And yeah, there is the shorts are basically I'm definitely. Because I think, yeah, I've been using them myself as well, just to link to people for just a quick guide, quick reference. And also, it's my counter argument to people going like, you know, IKEA just makes 1 hour build showcases. Just like, are you sure about that? But sometimes, yeah, you can get a lot of the information of a build over in. Although, yeah, the thing is, I still like, I feel the build showcases are still more my bread and butter, where we go actually in depth. Snitch not wanting to spawn, especially in the like in the dawn period and in the sunsetting period. I feel both the Snitch and the thingy are a lot more inconsistent. The Snitch and the ammo hoarder, but yeah, still. We only had 3 or 2 jumps, basically. Well, 3 jumps.
My buddy is open for business.
Let's actually, so Cassie's there. Let's actually go check these vendors out first. And yeah, the shorts will be basically every 4 days a short comes out. And actually today I actually made 2 instead of just the 1. Just to keep that kind of in the schedule that I want it to be. So actually there's already some planned until like 20th of May already. Because I make them kind of in batches and then we set them up to go out. Although actually that's a purple max stat. That's actually not, because that's not the, yeah, that's not the bar full for it. Yeah. That wasn't that useful. But yeah, we can always get more credits for this character. That's pretty easy. Let's go check these 2 vendors and then Cassie and then Danny. I'll still grab the exotic caches on like the 30 for the time being. Till the watch alting really ends. I think that might be faster. Going from the control point.
Thanks. Thanks for all your help.
Is this guy just full up on resources? Yeah. It's odd.
Detected from the control point.
So this one's kind of prepped to do a watch alt run. But likely we just won't. I don't per se need it on third account. Yeah, third account.
We've got division help on this?
I'm just gonna sunset it. Just gonna force myself as well not to log into it weekly anymore and stuff and get the SHG requisitions. We'll just maybe come back to it just at the end of like next season and then just do the entire like scouts and stuff on them or something. And just
Great to see you.
And luckily we can't extract that. And the thing that Cassie has at level 30 is she does have these. She does have gear set pieces. That's why we check her at 30 and not 31. Because I could also, for instance, if you spend several weeks grabbing stuff, either make negotiators or something like that. Or even a FI, actually. If you have just 4 pieces of FI, if you're kind of getting carried by somebody else, just having the 4 pieces of FI equipped will, of course, give them a buff. So you can just, kind of abuse that. It's not a bad chest, actually, by itself, even though it's purple. Yeah. But yeah, she has no other, like, OD. I've been enjoying OD for that as well. But Negotiator also would be a decent pick for that. Yeah, Danny. And then we're just going to grab the SHG requisitions on the other 2 characters quick and then go to the scout on the main character, so to say. Whee! I always do love that animation. Just sliding across the hood. Sliding across the hood in the hood. We're in the hood, sliding on the hood. Please have inventory.
You want to
God
make a deal?
damn it. Let's try this real quick. This is a place where Danny quite often bugs out. Some people have attributed it to like needing some of the control points captured. That's no. Just no. It's mostly just, yeah, bugginess with his inventory and acting as if he's basically blockaded. What you can always do is just, yeah, just go off site and back.
Safe area
That will